Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you. I wanted to stop by and just let you know that this pattern is available for immediate sale in my Etsy shop. Link is down below. Again, if you've been rocking with me since I started this channel back in January, you know it's been a long time coming getting these patterns written, sometimes tested and uploaded into my shop. So I'm finally starting that process. Last week I uploaded, and I actually have it right here, I uploaded the pencil keychain for back to school, and so this pattern is also available in my shop. I got a lot of love on this one, so go ahead and check that out, as well as the one for the corn dog. Both are available for you. And yeah, I'm really excited about this one. We are continuing with our back to school series. This, I believe, is our last or second to last episode in this series. And we're making a corn dog. And when I thought corn dog, I think like back to school food. I think something comforting. It's something that I used to make like as an after school snack when I was growing up. So I was just trying to, like, you know, think of things that are nostalgic for me for back to school, and something that I also do in preparation for my kids for back to school. So corn dog was just, I don't know, it was a fun thing to do this week. So thank you for rocking out with me. Thank you for sticking with me. All of my subscribers that have been here. Thank you for the new folks who are even just dropping by and you haven't hit that button yet. I'm still waiting on you. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe, and click that little bell icon so you know exactly when I post new materials, which is every single Monday without fail. Every single Monday I post a new tutorial. So let's go ahead and get into it. I think I've held you up long enough. Let's go ahead and rock right out. Okay, so let's talk some materials. So first and foremost, let's get a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is my absolute favorite. We need a yarn needle, and that's going to help us just with some of the detailing in our pattern. We need scissors, some scissors to chop some yarn. We need worsted yarn. So for this particular pattern, I use this really cool brown, and that's going to give us the crispy shell on the outside of our corn dog that's encasing the actual dog. We need a red, and this is because we're putting ketchup on our corn dog. If you prefer mustard, go ahead and get a yellow yarn, but we are putting ketchup on our guy. And then we need some black yarn, and this is going to help us to create the mouth of our corn dog because it's an amigurumi corn dog and he needs a face. We need a stitch marker, which I always keep on my brace. That is this guy. We need some polyfill because we will need to stuff our corn dog. You will need a fair amount of polyfill, so just be advised. You need a dowel, and this is new. I don't think we've used dowels. Maybe in the sunflower we did use dowels, but this one is going to be smaller. This is a 3/8 of an inch dowel, which we're going to cut down to size to 7 inches. I do not show you the cutting process, mainly because I don't want to get banned from YouTube. I do use a crafting knife, which is just a knife I purpose for my crafting room, to cut this down to 7 inches. I did want a fairly long tail on my corn dog, so you know, take that as you will. If you want it shorter, go ahead. If you want it longer, you know, feel free. And then we used size 6 safety eyes. Yeah, and I think that is it. So let me stop holding you and we'll go ahead and get into the pattern itself. All right, so let's start with the corn dog body. And we're gonna use this, I don't even know what this color is called. It's a brown, but it's a lighter brown. But this is going to be perfect for like that fried outerior of the corn dog for me. So I'm going to use that. So to start our corn dog, we are going to, for round 1, do a magic circle. And we are going to, let me get this battery out the way. I don't even know what that battery goes to. We're going to do a magic circle and 6 single crochets inside of that magic circle. So that was our magic circle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. I'm gonna put my stitch marker, close my hole, put my stitch marker, and then for row number 2, we're gonna do an increase. And if you've watched my channel before, you know I emphasize getting the increase around 2 correct because it kind of lays the foundation for the rest of our work. Let me get, there we go, I did this kind of tight so it's hard to get in there. So that's 1, 2, and that's an increase, just 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And so because we started with 6 single crochets in our magic circle, when we do our round 2, which is a round of increases, we should end up with 12. So go ahead and do that and I'll meet you back. Row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase. So that's 1 single crochet and then an increase, 1 single crochet and then an increase. And you're going to do that all the way around. Row number 4 is 2 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, and I might want to close my stitch marker here, and then an increase. So that's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then an increase all the way around. Okay, so this is what I'm looking like after row number 4. Row number 5 through 21 is going to be 1 single crochet in each. So we're really building up the body of our corn dog. So starting with row number 5, which is what we're on, we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, all the way until row 21. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine, and then I'll meet you back here to show you what it's looking like after. Okay, so this is what I'm looking like after row number 21. Remember, rows 5 through 21 are 1 single crochet in each stitch. So after row 21, what we want to do is insert our plastic safety eyes because we are actually going to start our decreases with row number 22, and we don't want our hole to get too small, and we because it'll be just really hard to get our eyes in there. So I played around with the eye sizes. I think I landed on number 6. So these are number 6 eyes, plastic safety eyes, and what we want to do is insert them between rows 15 and 16. So magic circle counts as row number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 between rows 15 and 16. So that's 1 eye. So we want to put our eyes in stitches 1 and 4. Let me get mine situated here. So that's stitch 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one we're going to put our other safety eye. But I think I like this size better. I thought the size number 8 was it, but it just looks a little bit big. So we're going to go a size down to row number 6. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and put our safety backs on, and then we can continue to row number 22. Okay, so let's continue on. This is what mine looks like with the eyes. We're going to go to row number 22, which is going to be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then a decrease. So 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then a decrease all the way around. Row number 23 is going to be 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease. 1 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around. Okay, at this point we want to go ahead and stuff with our polyfill because our hole is getting a little bit tight and we have kind of a large body to stuff. So let's go ahead and stuff with polyfill. Okay, after we're all stuffed, sometimes what happens to me in amigurumi is that my eyes get a little bit wonky. I don't know if you can see that, but what I like to do is just get my yarn needle, and I just kind of adjust the eyes so that they're straight, because what happens is the polyfill pushes the eyes just kind of out of place, and I use that to kind of put it back in place. Okay, so that's what we're looking like once stuffed. And let's go ahead and continue to row number 24, which is just a decrease all the way around, and you should in theory end up with 6 single crochet, or 6 stitches I should say. So just a decrease all the way around. You're picking up 2 stitches and just tying them together all the way around. Okay, so I did my round of decreases and I fastened off using, leaving a really long tail. Okay, so this is what we are looking like right now. So what I would like to do is I would like to insert my dowel so that we have our corn dog stick. We're doing a corn dog on a stick. So this is a 7/8 of an inch dowel, and I cut it to about 7 inches just because I wanted a fair amount to hang outside of my corn dog, and we're gonna shove this guy all the way up to the top of our corn dog. So these dowels come very long, and so what I did, I just took a crafting knife, a knife that I dedicated to my craft space, and I just cut it at 7 inches, and I used a nail file to file it down so that the ends are smooth. You actually can use a little bit more filing to make it more even, but especially if you're giving this or selling it as a toy, you want to make sure those sharp ends are definitely filed down. This is the end of my dowel, and they oftentimes color them, and I don't want that to show in my work, so this is the part that I'm going to put into my corn dog, and I'm just gonna put it all the way in there, working around the polyfill, and I'm twisting as I push up, and it does take a little bit of patience, so it's okay if it takes you a little while, but twist and push at the same time and it'll eventually go in. And make sure it's centered. Your guy will probably be misshapen by the time you're done with it because you're squeezing it so tight, but that's okay. Polyfill is very forgiving. And that's what we're looking like. And see, I wanted a fairly long tail, or a fairly long stick, to be hanging out of my corn dog. If you don't want it that long, you can definitely chop it down. This is just a preference for me. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and grab our the tail of our yarn. We want to weave it into, or thread our yarn needle. We want to close this hole around our stick. And it's honestly the same process as when you do it without the dowel. I'm just going into the stitches around the hole, just kind of weaving my yarn in. And I'm going to pull it tight. It won't be that tight. It won't be that tight to where the dowel won't be able to slide out. So honestly, what I would do if you are selling these guys and you're not just using it for personal use, I would probably use some hot glue. Hot glue the tip of the stick and then insert it, and that way this guy will not come out. As is, it probably will slide if you pull hard enough, but I'm using it for my kids, and so she's not that rough. She's 8. She doesn't play that rough anymore, so definitely consider that if you're going to sell. So now what I want to do is wrap the remaining length of the yarn around the dowel about 4 or 5 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good for me. So I'm going to go 4 down and then 4 back up. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And I'm gonna take this yarn and I'm gonna knot it. Just like that. And knotting it is just gonna help it stay in place. And I'm actually gonna do that a couple of times around, just so that it stays in place. I just do it one more time in case my kid gets crazy. There we go. And then just hide this yarn into your work. And mine came loose. There we go. And just, weave it in a couple of times to secure the yarn, and then you can go ahead and cut it. And there you have it, our stick is now attached. Okay, I want some mustard on my corn dog, and so I'm gonna pull out the red yarn and I am going to make some ketchup. And this is ridiculously simple how we're going to do this. So we are going to make a slip stitch or slip knot, and then we are going to chain 35. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 32, 33, 34, and 35. That is it. We're gonna cut off, fasten off, and then we're gonna leave a long tail for sewing. Next, what we want to do is go ahead and thread our yarn needle, just like this. We're gonna get our corn dog, and we are going to attach our corn dog first using pins, because the pins are going to help us to sew later. And so I pulled out my quilting pins, and for me, my preference is to start sewing at the top, and so the end I'm gonna place next to the eyes. And so I'm placing mine between rows 3 and 14. So 1, 2, 3, between 3 and 14, which is that row right above the eyes. It doesn't have to be that precise, to be honest with you. I just wrote that in the pattern so that those who are very, very fresh to crocheting and, you know, don't really have a sense of freestyling knows around where to put it. But if you are, you know, in your creative mode and you want to put it somewhere else, go for it. But you're just placing in a little squiggly line. Just think of mustard on a corn dog, just like that. And you're just going to place the pins where you think it makes the most sense to hold it in place. And for me, the look I like is to end right there, a little bit shorter than the swirl, if you can see that. So my end is a little bit shorter than the tail. That's just my creative flair. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to start sewing, and we're just pulling up a stitch just like that, and that first stitch is going to help us hold it in place. You see that? And you don't necessarily have to go into every single stitch. You can skip a couple, and it really won't matter for what we're doing right now. But you just want the ketchup, the quote-unquote ketchup, to stay. So if you feel like going in every single stitch is what's going to give you peace of mind, then you do that. If you want to do every other one, then I would say go for it. I wouldn't go every 3. That might be a little bit too much, but if you skip and go every other one, that should be fine. So let me go ahead and do this, and I will meet you back here once we're all done. Okay, so I'm all the way at the end here, and I just want to show you how I'm gonna end this guy. So in that last stitch, I inserted my yarn needle, and I just kept going and pulled out on an arbitrary stitch on the side. I'm gonna take that tail from when we first started our chain, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go on that same stitch and then come out the same stitch as well, and that's just going to make it look a little bit more cleaner right here. And what we can do with those tails is tie them just like that. I usually double knot, and then we're going to weave these ends into our work just to hide them. We don't really need it for security. I mean, it helps, but we've already double knotted. We just need to hide it now. And that is it. So let me cut this one. And then for the shorter ones, what I like to do is I just like to get my crochet hook and kind of hide this guy like that. And we all done. And that is our ketchup. The only thing we have left to do is our mouth, and we are done, y'all. Okay, so I'm taking my black yarn, just some scrap yarn I had laying around, and I'm gonna cut a fairly long tail that'll help us with our mouth. And so our eyes were in between rows 15 and 16. Our mouth is going to be between 16 and technically 18, but we want to put the first two pieces of our mouth between 16 and 17. So somewhere in right here. Best practice is I would get some quilting pins. And again, we want to go in rows between rows 16 and 17. Our eyes were between 15 and 16, so we know this is row number 16. So we want to go between these two rows here. And I want my mouth to be, let's go, I want to be a little bit to the side maybe. Let's go there. And there, usually I go the centermost stitches, but I'm just, I want to see what it looks like. And then you want to put another pin right underneath, in that row underneath, in the bottom. And my stick is right in the way, so it looks crooked, but I promise you it's not. And I don't like that crooked smile, so we are gonna go over. Let me get my placement just right. That'll do, I guess. Let's see what that looks like. That looks a little bit better. Okay. And so what we're gonna do is, for me, be careful because my pins are actually sticking through the back, and I am notorious for pricking myself. So just be careful, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do it. But we're gonna go in through the back, and we're gonna come up through that rightmost pin. So come up through that rightmost pin, just like that. You want to leave a little bit of tail in the back because we're going to use that to anchor, and I just pricked myself. Good Lord. Okay, then we're going to go in through the left pin, excuse me, and we're going to come up through the bottom pin, just like that. All right, and what you want to do is go on top of that line that we just made. You're going to pull your yarn through, and when you pull, you should start to see that V happening, just like that. Uh-oh, hold on, I didn't get all of my yarn here. Let me go ahead and do that again. Just make sure you get all of the yarn. There we go. And you should start to see that V happening. See that? And then we're going to go into that same stitch on the bottom and then through the back. And make sure you go in that same stitch because we're doing that to hide our work. And then we're pulling to make sure that V is nice and pronounced. Oh, my smile still ended up being to the side. I actually like it. Okay. There we go. And then, same thing we did for the ketchup. We're just going to tie this off and then hide our ends into the back. And we all done, y'all. And this is the final look. He is absolutely adorable. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, so what can we do with this thing? Definitely leave it as is. Like I was telling you before, if you're going to put this in a shop or if you're going to gift this to somebody, definitely glue that dowel in so that this doesn't turn as much. It doesn't pull out. You see how it's coming out like that? Make sure you glue it. But for my purposes, this is just fine. My daughter literally just plays with her dolls with it. You can make another one with mustard, or you can alternate and do a ketchup and mustard. You can play with the eye sizes, and remember I told you I was playing around with the size 8 eyes. So these are a size 8 and these are a size 6. So I mean, it's your preference. The pattern is the pattern calls for a size 6, so if you like the 8 better, just kind of take note of that in the pattern. There is space in the pattern for notes, so just kind of make a note there. And I think we're done, y'all. This came out really, really cute. I'm gonna add this to my food crochet collection, and yeah, So if you have ideas on what you want to see next, go ahead and drop a comment. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to click that bell icon so that you know when I drop new content, which is every single Monday without fail. Every single Monday I drop something new for you guys. And this pattern will also be available in my Etsy shop immediately. So if you're a person who needs the stitch counts, you want the visible materials, you want to see the actual pattern that is available for sale in my shop, link is below. Stay safe with everything going on in the world. Make sure you crochet some cool stuff, and I will see you all next Monday for another crochet tutorial. Bye guys.